The second part of the premise of the 1619 Project is just a historical lie. It's something that's provably not true. And first, I want you to hear Nikole Hannah-Jones, the author, talking about Black History Month on MSNBC. Take a listen to this.
Every time that you've done something like this with the 1619 Project, have conversations about race, actual honest conversations about race, we see this backlash. And we've continued to see a backlash from certain parts of this country as as Black people have tried to say, hey, no, let us into this conversation about history because Black history is American history. So I guess talk about continuing to do this work as that backlash continues and you start seeing it at the highest levels of government.
Yes, it's become very predictable now. So, now that the documentary series is out and we are seeing the same kind of backlash being ginned up, my response to it is we've already been there. What else can you possibly say that hasn't been said? But I think there's something much more central happening, which is that the history of Black Americans is so inconvenient to the narrative of America that there are, powerful interests that haven't ever wanted us to grapple truthfully. That's why we have Governor DeSantis banning AP African American Studies in Florida. That's why we have all these so-called anti-critical race theory laws that are trying to make it more difficult to teach about racism and to teach about what Black Americans have experienced. Because if you acknowledge that, then you have to acknowledge that we were founded on these great ideals, but we have not lived up to them. So to me, the backlash is a sign of the impact. The backlash is a sign, of who doesn't want us to grapple honestly with our history. And the reason that is if we are more honest about our history, then we choose different policies, right? Then we understand that so much of the inequality we see has been architected and that if we want to undo it, we can.
Okay, so you hear this argument from Nikole Hannah-Jones, who I assume knows that she's lying. She knows that she's propagating a falsehood. And the second premise on which the 1619 Project is built, this historical inaccuracy, is this contention that she makes that the founding fathers or the American revolutionaries staged the Revolutionary War, the War for Independence against the British Crown, because not for independence, but because they wanted to protect the institution of slavery. There's no historical basis for this. This is not true. In fact, even historians who are on the left have fact-checked her, have given her the bzz, this is false, this is not true. She made this up. This is an invention, this is a lie. And the purpose of this lie, it wasn't an accident. It's not because she's ignorant. The purpose of this lie was manipulation. The purpose of this lie is to conflate Black history with Marxist ideology. And this is where we get into the strategy of the left, what they're doing with Black History Month. Because when Nikole Hannah-Jones, when we hear her say those words, talking about Governor DeSantis in Florida, for example, and how he is prohibiting this AP African American Studies course from being taught in Florida public high schools because it's not actually about Black history. It is critical race theory, meaning it is neo-Marxist ideology that uses race as the dividing factor to try to serve as the vanguard of a Marxist revolution. Those two things are not the same thing, right? But Nikole Hannah-Jones and others on the left, on the neo-Marxist left, have rebranded the word or redefined the word Black. And when they say Black, they mean neo-Marxist ideology that they think all Black people must embrace if they want to be, quote unquote, authentically, politically Black. That's why they claim that teaching critical race theory or that anti-critical race theory laws are anti-Black. Because they have simply redefined a term. You and I understand the word Black as it relates to race to mean someone with Black skin. That is not what Nikole Hannah-Jones means. That is not what MSNBC means. That is not what the 1619 Project means. That is not what the New York Times means. This is a very, very radically leftist worldview